Don in London, hello, March 2nd, 2010. My video a bit late today, and I'll explain why in a moment. All about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, and my substance of addiction, alcohol, my behaviour, equally addictive, work, relationships, collecting. So 35 years of, I suppose, depending on outside things, people, places and things, to fix me, to fix that gap inside, not knowing what it was, not really understanding. I felt some sort of emptiness, and that was brought on often by fear and an anxiety that I wasn't good enough. And that's nobody's fault, it's just the way I turned out, that I didn't know or understand life too well, and I didn't know or understand how to learn life too well. And what got in the way along those years? Probably fixing myself with outside things. And these days, in recovery, one day at a time, as I've learned, we have a gap inside us for a reason. It's there to put good things in, and not things to fix us. So, like anything else, if it takes a bit of time, like recovery, although we do it one day only, as we go along, time improves our outlook, and we start to put good things into our life. People, places, things, good things, which are going to keep us on the road of sobriety. But, I have to put the but in there, sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, and over the last few days I suspect I've procrastinated over a condition. I fell over last Friday, and it's now Tuesday night, and I finally went to an accident and emergency to have them look at my foot, which hurts, and will hurt for a while. I've got a displaced fracture, so whilst we might wish things well, sometimes we do need external help, and waiting for things to be fixed can be done in a timely way when something happens. So the gift in all of this is, don't procrastinate, Don. So what's keeping me sober and still procrastinating and still being in a state of denial from time to time about my physical condition? Well, that's simply the fellowship of A. A keeps me on track. It eventually helps me make the decisions I need to make about my life, and sometimes slowly, sometimes quickly, but as we say, it's progress. So this fellowship of AA 24-hour day program with 12 steps of action to change my attitude and behaviour, to look after myself and the people around me. If I keep sober one day at a time, then I have a bit of a chance to be involved with and be a part of life, people, places and things. So the gift for me, fellowship, always helps me. And today I haven't been able to get to a fellowship meeting simply because I needed to rest. I did as I was told by the emergency doctor, having taken the x-ray, and said, I bet that hurts. And I said, well, yes, it does actually, but you know, I always have a brave face, ready, and a smile. But inside today, because I wasn't complaining or pretending to be ill, I just really needed to find out what was going on. So I did it with good humour, and I had good company, and we talked and chatted to a few people in the A&E department, and we were like a couple of humourists. Life is funny, even in the darkest circumstances, and that's what I've learned in recovery as well, with my friends in fellowship. So what is AA? This is what I share here, and also a bit about the steps of AA and literature, and what's happening to me. So first, the statement of intent about AA, and it's the AA preamble shared at the 700 meetings available to me here in London every week, and this is how it reads. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution. Does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, and stay in sobriety. It works all the way around. So those two things: a desire to stop drinking, and the only reason for coming to AA is a desire to stop drinking, and then see how it goes, and then share experience, strength and hope. And one of the traditions, tradition 3, is all about our primary purpose, which is to keep sober. And I was reading both the step and tradition whilst I was in A&E waiting for a conclusion about my broken foot. And it's good because, you know, when we take time out just to read the steps, even when we've been around a while, we keep on learning how much deeper they are and how much more we have learned as we go along. So reading is good, or listening and finding out more about how the steps work in reality. And in this book, Daily Reflections, for March 2nd, it's all about hope. And just to share again what step 3 is, that's all about March. March in this book is all about step 3. It reads exactly as, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. And for many of us in early days, it's all about good conscience, and AA being our higher power, and simply in wisdom, experience, strength and hope to keep us on track. And then the idea of God, if we understand what is going to work for us. For me it's truth, universal truth. Not my truth that my leg is not broken or my foot is not broken. It is. So it's to listen to other people and get down to A&E. So wisdom comes through others, love comes through others, and it all seems to hold together very nicely. So it says here, March 2nd, hope. Do not be discouraged. Few experiences are of less value to me than fast sobriety. Too many times, discouragement has been the bonus for unrealistic expectations, not to mention self-pity or fatigue from my wanting to change the world by the weekend, or to have your foot mended. Discouragement is a warning signal that I may have wandered across the God line. The secret of fulfilling my potential in acknowledging my limitations and believing that time is a gift, not a threat. So in other words, time is a gift, and in time we learn how to be sober and keep sober, do the right things for ourselves and those around us. Hope is the key that unlocks the door of discouragement. The program promises me that if I do not pick up the first drink today, I will always have hope. That's where we start from. Hope that we won't have a drink today. I will always have hope. Having come to believe that I keep what I share, every time I encourage, I receive courage. It is with others that, with the grace of God or conscience and the fellowship of AA, I trudge, or in my case limp, the road of happy destiny. May I always remember that the power within me is far greater than any fear before me. May I always have patience, for I am on the right road. And for me, may I always have patience. I'm a patient, and I've come to understand that, with conditions as we get older in life, believing in God or having a higher power is not going to stop us getting ailments. And I deal with type 1 diabetes and clinical depression, and the gift in all of this is I've been alive long enough to get them. I was years into sobriety when these things were properly understood. So in this world, on a daily basis, maybe I ought to have gone to A&E on Friday and not had so much pain over the weekend by having my surgical boot to put on. Picture at the front of this video. And maybe I would have been better off not waiting too long and listening to the people around me and said, oh, you ought to get that checked out, because they had a look at it and it was black and blue. I shan't show it. But this thing about let go and let God, or is it let go and let good? Let the good of others help us when we're in trouble. And that's what fellowship is all about for me. And fellowship people said, get it checked out. And fellowship people say all the encouraging things. They share their courage, their experience, their strength and hope, trying to be open, honest and willing, and get over denial and hoping things are going to be alright. So sometimes we do need the help of experts, science, as well as spiritual guidance. The luck, or the good in all of this, we have the serenity prayer to God or good conscience, which is always saving my outlook and my insights. God, or to good conscience, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. For me, sometimes takes more than a day.